Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Massie. I want to give you a little bit of alert here. I hope I'm not making a mountain out of a molehill. But a few years ago, when 280C didn't really need to be checked, several of you guys accidentally, your computer program that you're using to process your 6765 checked the box for you because it was on repeat from last year. And the IRS never came out with a way to remedy that for you, and I feel bad. So I want to point out another weird thing that we're starting to see with the 2024 Form 6765, so that you don't have any kind of mistakes again this year. If you look at what I have on the screen, I have a controlled group. This only impacts potential controlled group filers where the member is filing a separate return. So I've got three columns because we have companies A, B, and C that make up the controlled group. If you look over here to the far right in column J, I have my prior 3 years worth of information for my base period calculation for the control group. So 52 million is the 3-year average. Ultimately, you divide that by 6 and you get this 8.7 million is the control group base period. Now we come down to current year wages, supplies, and contract information for the three groups, and they have 19 million of combined. So when you subtract out the 8.7 from the 19, you get 10, and at a 14% credit rate, it's $1.4 million credit. Now, I decide I'm able to allocate that back to my members based on their QREs for the year. So we take 11 over 19, 9 over 19, and 7 over 19. And I want you to kind of focus on this column B, because 9 over the 19 is about 5%. 5% of the 1.4 is a $72,000 credit that this particular company gets. Okay. Stay focused on that for a second. So this is just a calculation workbook that your provider would have given you. This is an attachment you would make to your 24 form, which has your three legal entities and has the QREs all broken out. Here's that 954 I mentioned for that entity number 2. Here's the 5% coming up with their $72,000 of credit. So you can see the 72 there matches the 72 there. That's great. When you get to the form, though, here's what a federal form looks like. It says total qualified research expenditures 954, which is what company. Now we're just doing, I'm sorry, a member only QREs, not the consolidated, but this is for their own filing outside of the consolidated group. They had 954, but if you look here on line 21, it says here's the QREs for the 3 years, 52, which ties back to this 52 over here, which was the combined total. Now, why are we doing that? Because over here in the instructions, it says line 21, if you're a member of a controlled group, enter your total amount of the group's QREs for the prior 3 years, which is really strange because here on line 20, one line above, it says if you're a member of control group filing separately, enter only the members' QREs and not the groups. So we have 954 is the member, 52 is the group. And then they don't give us any more instructions. And they say divide this by 6, which is the 8. But if we were then looking at 954 compared to 8, we would not get a credit. But that's not the way the rules work. The rules, as we saw here before, they actually get a $72,000 credit. So we have to force $72,000 as the gross credit. I am fearful that some software is going to take 8.7, compare that to 954, put a 0 here, a 0 here, a 0 here, and a 0 here, and your particular legal entity will not get a credit, and you may not catch that. So that's the whole purpose of this. Regardless of how the math works up here, you're eligible for a $72,000 credit. You got it back here as a 72. That's what's on your statement. You got it over here. Here's how your workbook. But just make sure that the form matches down here the number that you needed to match. So it's really odd to me the way they laid this out. It may have been a typo, unintended consequence. We might be reading the form wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's the 72 that's the important part. Make sure your software is giving you the right number. If you have any questions about this, please contact one of your Massie representatives or myself, and we'd be glad to help you with this further. All right. Thank you very much.